Signore e signori, Her Story. Un gioco che volevo giocare da un'eternità di tempo e sto avendo modo di farlo adesso, in questo 2025 per me. Vabbè, minchia anche per voi, cioè non credo escano nel 2026. Anche perché cazzo se escono nel 2026 giochi di gennaio, un problema. Non so bene come funzioni il gioco, devo essere onesto, lo conosco di nome e basta, però vediamo. La traduzione è una traduzione amatoriale. Ciao, ecco il database. Ho creato un form di informazioni a cui accedere come ospite. Sembra che funzioni bene. I video sono stati trasferiti dai nastri originali del 99 e poi dopo il Millennium Bug sono stati reimballati. Nessuno li ha usati da allora. Purtroppo non ho trovato sul server i video del detective, forse i vecchi nastri sono stati danneggiati durante l'inondazione del 97. Ma questo materiale dovrebbe bastarti, fa con calma. Introduzione al Logic Database. L'informatica costituisce la spina dorsale del lavoro della moderna polizia. Il Logic Database rappresenta l'apice di numerosi sforzi atti a conservare le prove per consentire un efficace lavoro investigativo. In futuro i computer saranno degli strumenti essenziali nell'eterna lotta contro il crimine. Questo database contiene dei video trasferiti dagli archivi dei crimini e omicidi commessi a Portsmouth. La tecnologia SR ha permesso la catalogazione automatica. Ogni dichiarazione dei partecipanti viene salvata separatamente ed etichettata al fine di essere facilmente visionata dalla corte. L'audio stenografato digitalmente contiene le testimonianze presenti in ogni videoclip. Per ottenere il videoclip inserire una parola, ad esempio furto nel campo di ricerca. Cliccare su cerca per ottenere tutti i video dove viene pronunciato quel termine specifico. Per una migliore ricerca usare molti termini, ad esempio furto supermercato. L'uso delle virgolette permette una ricerca molto precisa del testo corrispondente, ad esempio, certo ci sono andato. Per salvare un videoclip per ulteriori controlli basta fare clic su aggiungi a sessione. Il sistema permette anche l'inserimento di nuovi tag a scelta dell'utente. Basta fare clic sul tasto tag utente e inserire un testo qualunque. Per ulteriore supporto contattare il rappresentante incaricato del servizio informatico. Ok. Figo che ci sono i riflessi del monitor. Qui. Ok. Qua c'è il cestino. Ah, ok, Vecna è quello che ha tolto il gioco. Non... non lo so. Boh, qui c'è scritto omicidio. Proviamo a cercare... 2053. Il 3. L'1. Aspetta, non posso... Voglio il filtro anticlere. No! È terribile. Così è meglio, tipo cattolico. Eh, 1 luglio, primo luglio del 94. Ah, ok, sono già in ordine. Perfetto. Proviamo il primo.
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
Ok.
Yeah, that's me. But February? I mean, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
Ok. Io poi un'altra ricerca poi, ovvero Simon.
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
Sì, penso che Simon...
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing.
Anche arma può essere una
And
buona
all the
parola.
stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
Ok, partiamo col conoscere Simon. Oh,
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things. Really beautiful things.
ok. Quindi sappiamo che Simon fa finestre.
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. I bought a photo. They said I should bring a photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have.
Mi segno in questo post-it le parole, tipo non l'ho fatto. Segno le parole da cercare.
It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan.
Chi
There's some
sono
other
Peter e
lady there
Susan?
Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
Helen. Ok. Allora io aggiungerei a sessione questo, perché quello della colperatura può tornare utile. Minchia, sono già pesissimo.
Yes, there's an abstract one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games. You know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
Ok.
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
Ok. Se cerco arma, troviamo solo quello. Se cerco foto, mi dai altro? Ok.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off for the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
Ok.
Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long, though. There's a great photo of the bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
Ok. Mi ha preso in modo particolare. Se cerco Roma mi dice altro sulle vacanze? No. Ok. Tanto sbarro le parole che ho già cercato. Ma incastrati 10 minuti? Cazzo, sono già pesissimo. Peter Park, quindi immagino che anche Susan non ci sia niente. Helen. Oh! Oh, cosa? Allora. Aspetta, voglio vedere. Quindi Peter e Susan niente, però Helen mi dà un altro video.
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said.
Lite?
He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
Attenzione! Sta cosa... ok, niente, ci ho provato. Ci sono altre cose con la cicatrice? No. Occhiali? Ok.
His body didn't look real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. He has these thick glasses. He doesn't always wear them.
Ok. Sto prendendo appunti. Se c'è colite, dovrai dirmi. Molto bene.
His married couple stuff. A stupid argument. Nothing specific. No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to.
Però non mi hai detto l'argomento della lite.
Yes. He left after the argument. It was about 8 o'clock.
Se c'è cos'era? Ok. Involontariamente ho trovato di tutto.
It was Friday evening. We had an
Ok,
argument.
magari anche discussione può essere una parola.
On Saturday he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job.
E chi è Eric?
So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come and see you. His parents haven't heard anything either. I didn't. I slept in the car. I left about 9 that night. I wasn't there. So I moved out.
No, uè. Eccessivo. Dormite in macchina. No, fermo. Ok. Trasloco. Me lo segno perché non... No. Molto bene il fatto che qualcuno l'abbia tradotto in italiano e questo è ancora peggio. Allora, discussione.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm quite a private person and I didn't want to get into the detail of the argument.
Ma deviano, certo.
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night.
Ok.
After the argument, after Simon left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car.
Ok.
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake, children sang me happy birthday, then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. It turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
Ok. Motivo lite. Bambino. Ok. Voglio capire chi è Eric, se me lo dice.
He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric.
Ok.
He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
Ok, Eric è il suo capo.
Yes, there's a car that we share.
Macchina, giusto anche.
And a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
Macchina e minivan. Cerco entrambe.
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one.
Anche
He
portafogli.
doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one.
Portafogli. Rimani solo tu.
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
Andiamo a scoprire chi è Diane. Me ne dà altri? No. Che vuol dire? Ok, niente. Credo di trovare un bel po' di cose, esatto. Vediamo se tutte le parole hanno... Ok. Che... Una chitarra. Ok, Simon 61, legittimo. Ci può stare. Regalo? Cosa mi dici? Me ne dai 8. Minivan? Minivan solo uno, ok. Beh, allora, scopriamo la lite adesso. Questo gioco è incredibile. Cioè, mi maledico perché l'ho comprato, boh, quanti anni fa? 3? 2 a 3, tipo. Lo sto giocando adesso. Vediamo un po'.
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday.
Ok, diciamo che anche vacanze può essere una parola da cercare.
We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope.
Ok, si sono trasferiti da Eric, tipo.
I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until...
No, Simon, pardon.
That was only a few months after.
Oh! Quindi potrebbe essere il motivo della lite sia l'aborto.
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Simon's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed, and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed, and that's when I called the police. Yes. It was a shock to him. I mean, we never thought it was possible. I don't know what he... I mean, I hadn't decided whether to keep the baby. I wasn't really ready to talk to him about it.
Ok. Macchina, avevamo dei video nuovi? Sì.
I got in the car and I drove.
Vediamo dove è andata.
I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could.
Ok.
When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep.
Che ci faceva a Glasgow? Cerco alto, vediamo se... Ma l'avete visto il riflesso? Sono cagato addosso.
I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. When I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there, and I... Is there a bin? And I...
Ok.
Yeah, I pulled over and slept in the car. This was just by the side of the road. I was exhausted.
Qui e poi il sacco. Ok. Sto facendo i collegamenti. No, macchina regalo. Ecco, regalo e basta. Dovrebbe esserci, esatto.
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present.
Ma che cos'era il suo regalo?
I mean, it wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror. A nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me.
Ok.
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, it must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
Glasgow è da cercare, infatti ce l'ho segnata. Regalo, bambino, macchina fatti. Portafogli? Magari si scopre qualcosa?
He has a wallet, a huge silly thing, leather, real leather, I think.
Cuoio?
Packs it full of stuff,
No, aspetta.
business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. He sets the discs. I haven't seen it, so he must have it on him. He always takes it out of his back pocket before, when he comes in, if he's in the house.
Provo a cercare multe, così, in maniera un po' randomica. Se cerco corpo, forse l'avevo già fatto. Però vediamo un po' cosa è.
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policeman. I found the body. Really? Okay. Here's the rest.
Aspetta, questa è... Quella mi sa proprio di seconda parte.
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull out Hannah's to match.
Credo sia la sorella.
Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. But she snuck a frozen piece up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronised anyway. We started our period on the same day, all our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
Sì, pare proprio la sorella. Non so bene come cercare le cose, perché so che sono un po' disorganico, però non...
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though, it's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith, I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
Ah, quindi quella con i capelli legati è...
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since.
Le cerco piano di sopra, tipo...
Silver leaf? No. He normally silvers them properly. This mirror, it's supposed to look antique. The reflection isn't as good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own reflection. Look, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it by hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. That's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror and he gave it to me.
No. Ho un dubbio.
You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay? Probably needs tuning. No. It's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street. Sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain, but he only
Non capire a cosa possa servire.
youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain, with a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. So she pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and
Chitarra credo sia una parola da cercare.
watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. When she floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain floated till a ship came by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Out comes the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain.
Ma va a cantare, però non. Magari mi sto perdendo qualcosa nella canzone. Però non mi sembra molto attinente.
And then it gets really weird, so I think that's a good place to stop.
Ah, era un achievement, ok.
When she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had.
Ok.
She knew that instant. The look on his face. She knew.
Ho capito bene.
When she went home, she wanted me to this.
C'è la sorella. Ok, quindi sono sorelle. Cioè, questi sono i video della sorella che, se ho ben capito, con Simon.
She sent him out the house, kicked him out, called me up, crying, and I went round. I guess I had a feeling I could hear something was wrong in her voice, but I wasn't sure what it was. She called me sister on the phone. She never calls me that.
Ci sono un po' di errori nella traduzione, ma ci possono stare.
My sister is gone. And she's never coming back.
Ok. Allora, vediamo un po'.
What are you doing talking about Eve?
Eve sarà il nome della sorella, no?
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Cerchiamo Smith. Ho 1000 parole da cercare ancora.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help.
Non
I'd been
capisco se siano...
throttled by the cord, probably
Sì,
wrapped around my neck by
sono
Hannah.
gemelle, ok.
The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing
Diario.
what people will admit to on paper.
Ok.
She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
Soffitta. Devo girare il post-it. Ora, ho 37.000 cose ancora da cercare. Sono presissimo. Che cazzo di gioco incredibile. Allora, Diane l'avevamo cercata, ma non avremmo visto tutto.
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organizes the Christmas party, that sort of thing.
Speriamo che Natale
She
magari
had two
trovo qualcosa.
kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
Ho scritto Natale e figli. C'era uno che avevo segnato come da guardare per caso? No.
Not really. He would go to the pub.
Anche
Had his
pub.
drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off CFAX, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
Ok.
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work.
Anche lavoro
Maybe
potrebbe
Simon was
essere.
being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
Ok. Diane l'abbiamo cercata. Ecchimosi, voglio capire cos'è.
Bruce? Oh, yeah, no, it's nothing. I was going through the top cupboard in my kitchen and the chair slipped and I kind of hit the door with my face. I mean, it hurt like hell.
Ok.
This was about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left.
Sbaglio, sono due storie diverse su come la cosa è sbucata. Allora, c'era che piano di sopra ne aveva solo uno. Sorella l'avevo cercato. Smith, mi puoi vedere qualcos'altro di nuovo? No. Vacanze nemmeno. Aborto, secondo me sì, esatto. Vediamo un po'. Io adoro questo gioco.
It was the worst year of my life. The miscarriage and then my parents.
Ok. Anche genitori magari, può essere una parola.
They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
Non una grande combo, ha ragione.
Yeah. I mean, I was infertile.
Oh.
Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications. Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile. Felt like the universe had corrected its course.
Non si amano, devo dire.
We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then...
Non capisco se ogni volta che si vede qualcosa tipo un successo alto perché sto azzeccando oppure ad minchia.
Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from a payphone, and then...
Anche telefono. Così, cioè, minchia, si vede che sono preso, Cazzo, non me l'aspettavo così intimidante.
No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning.
Ok.
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out.
Oh.
It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
Ok. quello di poter mettere un massimo di cose, un massimo di video salvati, quindi c'è qua. C'era altro in merito no, c'era solo questo, però tipo, ma mi sono abituato lì. Ho 3 anni. Ecco l'orologio. Oh,
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck. No, he doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing. I've kept one, well, as long as I can remember, since I was a girl.
quindi
It helps make sense of my day. And when you're forced to put something into words, it just gives you perspective. Everyone's on the same page.
quindi
Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess.
che cos'ha Florence?
When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with
Un
other
attimo,
stuff.
pardon, è entrata mia
Florence was a
sorella.
warm,
Allora, da qua.
older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there.
Anche storia, tipo, una buona
I
parola.
never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large
Famiglia
family,
pure.
but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know. When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident.
È una cosa
At
diversa.
that point, and I knew she wasn't my real mother.
Ok.
So I burned the diary that day, and I left. Walked out and across the street. It just became our way of life. We would swap places and take it in turns to do things, and we were very careful. Whoever had been out that day would come back and write a detailed diary so that we were on the same page. We had a list of rules that said what we could and couldn't do in any given situation. It was exhaustive. We lived a second life through those rules. Rules for things that could only ever happen inside our imaginations. We would consider all the permutations of future events and agree rules to walk our way through them.
Ho tipo tutte queste parole da cercare ancora. Ce ne sono pure altre qui. Boh, sto amando sto gioco, quindi faccio una pausa e poi ci torno. Ok, mi prendo proprio così, molto bene amici, molto molto bene. Allora, abbiamo scoperto un puttanaio di cose, ovvero lei ha una sorella, ci sono casini vari, insomma, abbiamo scoperto un bel po' di roba. Io direi di cercare ora l'ostetica. Lawrence, vediamo un po'.
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion.
Quindi praticamente la madre ha cacciato via Ivy.
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me.
Oh,
No, it was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when it came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
no, non volevo, ho sbagliato tasto. Quindi,
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes. Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it out. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. We made up after. It was a love-hate relationship. A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London, and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off, I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve, so my parents let me off.
figlia di puttana.
My mother called me Eve.
Ok, immagino che la Eve sia lei. Vediamo un po'. Soffitta.
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
No.
Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play out there and make up our own stories.
Come se raccontassero due cose diverse.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they...
Scusa.
We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
Non mi hai convinto. Dimmi un po'.
I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
Ah, ce ne sono un paio che sono più un tentativo. Vediamo se mi dice altro. Natale, no.
Well, there you go. How many kids?
Ok. Mi manca qualcosa, immagino.
No, not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but no, he doesn't have any kind of drinking problem. God, I don't know. Could be anyone. Maybe someone followed him back from the pub. But why would he let them in? Doesn't make sense.
Posso dire che sono perplesso, me le sto mettendo in un determinato ordine, vediamo un po'. Cioè, nel senso, come me le sono scritte. Sto pasticciando tutte le mani.
She has a knife.
Ho di nuovo 3 anni. Coltello.
She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him.
Cosa sto leggendo?
He's ill. That's why she's...
Cioè, cosa state scrivendo?
Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends. You're reaching here.
Lei ha un tatuaggio, tra l'altro.
Oh, I don't know why.
Cerchiamo tatuaggio.
No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for. Why are you trying to make me sad? Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs?
Ma è sterile?
You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing? did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me.
Ah, no, ho interpretato male.
I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
Amici. Il primo video lo finiamo qui. Ho ancora una decina di parole da cercare, sono molto curioso. Più o meno mi sto facendo un quadro, anche se un po' confusionario. Magari ne parliamo continuando a vedere, a vedere le clip. Però grandissimo gioco. Porca puttana.